My name is Lindsay Risley. I'm the Employee Health and Wellness Manager. If we haven't had a chance to meet either in person or online through one of our events and activities and what have you with Live What OU. Each spring, we like to invite nutritional sciences to have for some students to offer some different workshops as they can share their expertise and what they're learning when it comes to nutrition and their quest to be registered dietitians. So we have the last of our series of workshops, and then we'll have some one-on-one nutrition sessions later into April. So keep an eye out for that information so you can sign up for one of those sessions. But today is the last of our series of workshops, and we have the Power of Pancakes, Transform Your Health Through Breakfast. So excited to hear what Lydia and Frankie have for us today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lindsay. We appreciate it. Welcome. My name's Lydia.
And I'm Frankie, and welcome to our presentation of the Power of Pancakes.
Today, we'll dive into the benefits of eating breakfast, we'll address common barriers, and we'll provide practical solutions to make breakfast a daily habit.
We'll also highlight the importance of fiber and protein in your breakfast, and share some quick and easy meal prep ideas to kickstart your day.
Let's get started and discover how pancakes can power up your mornings.
First, objectives. Our audience will be able to describe the impact of breakfast on metabolism, energy levels, and overall health. Next, identify solutions to common barriers regarding meal prepping. Third, give examples of breakfast meals that you can typically and easily incorporate into your life by meal prepping. And fourth, describe the importance of fiber on gut health.
So we like to start this off with a quote. Breakfast is often referred to as the most important meal of the day. Research shows that individuals who consume breakfast have more favorable nutrient intakes and higher overall diet quality. Moreover, habitually skipping breakfast has been associated with elevated risks of numerous health conditions, including obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. We just wanted to include this quote to really highlight the importance of breakfast.
So why is it important? First off, breakfast is a great way to fuel your day. Eating breakfast provides energy to power into your day and to help your body perform at its best. Whether you're going to work, you're taking your children to school, you are just completing any daily activities, breakfast is a really good way to fuel your day and feel good. Next, breakfast can help reduce brain fog. Your brain is your number one energy consumer. It needs energy to function. Breakfast can help you be more alert, focused, and improve mood. Next, breakfast can improve heart health. The morning is when your body is most insulin sensitive, when it uses blood sugar most effectively. So it's a great time to choose fiber-filled carbs that will help you get 25 grams or more of dietary fiber a day to help lower your cholesterol. And finally, breakfast can reduce the risk of chronic diseases. There have been several studies that have shown breakfast skippers may have a higher risk of developing diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer relative to those who eat breakfast. Next, how eating breakfast impacts your metabolism and energy levels. Eating breakfast jumpstarts thermogenesis, which is calorie burning. When you eat breakfast, your body starts the process of thermogenesis, which is the production of heat and energy from food. This helps your metabolism rev up overnight after a long fasting period. Essentially, your body burns more calories in the hour after you eat your first meal. Next, breakfast can help regulate blood sugar levels. A balanced breakfast helps stabilize blood sugar levels by preventing spikes and crashes that can occur later in the day. When blood sugar levels are stable, your metabolism works more efficiently. Skipping breakfast can lead to a dip in blood sugar, which may slow down your metabolism and make you feel sluggish. Finally, breakfast can promote lean muscle mass, especially incorporating protein. Protein-rich breakfasts in particular help build and repair muscle tissue, and muscle burns more calories than fat. So having a good breakfast that includes protein especially helps keep your metabolism high by supporting lean muscle growth.
All right, so now that we've learned about the importance of breakfast, we would like to acknowledge the common barriers that people tend to experience when it comes to preparing breakfast. So, of course, lack of time, lack of money, two classic barriers for a lot of things, but also lack of inspiration and education and lack of self-perceived cooking skills. So we'd like to offer some solutions to these barriers. When it comes to time, meal prepping your breakfasts can just take maybe 1 hour a week to two. So really just setting aside that time once per week can really set yourself up for success to feel better every day for the remaining days of the week. Lack of money, we'd like to offer some tips on to how to save at the grocery store. So buying generic brands, shopping for produce in season, potentially joining store loyalty programs, and also just in general, grains and produce are always going to be a bit cheaper than animal products. So maybe listening in, seeing what suits your budget and also your preferences. Lack of education, again, tune in. The internet is our friend, but also you'll be able to come up with a lot of ideas and take some inspiration from this presentation here today as well. And lack of cooking skills, this is a big one for a lot of people. We would just like to assure you that especially when it comes to breakfast, these meals don't have to be elaborate. A lot of the meals that we'll be talking about today are super simple, really easy relatively to prepare. So yep, these are some common solutions to some barriers that may come across. So next, we'd like to provide some framework as to how to choose a breakfast that is both nutritious and enjoyable. So we'd like to emphasize nutrient-dense foods here. So nutrient-dense foods are going to be foods that, when it comes to the ratio of nutrients to calories, it's going to be a high amount of nutrients in comparison to the calorie level. A lot of nutrient-dense foods are going to consist of whole foods, so fruits, vegetables, avocados, stuff like that. So it's important to get a healthy balance between all three of the macronutrients, protein, carbohydrate, and fat. This on the right side of the screen is the MyPlate recommendation for what we should kind of aim for when it comes to our meals. So a quarter of our plate could be fruits, another quarter vegetables, grains, and then protein. Another little tidbit that MyPlate recommends is to go low in fat whenever possible. So maybe choosing 2% milk or reduced fat milk instead of whole, and also limiting those added sugars whenever possible. Whenever it comes to choosing a fruit and vegetable for your plate, MyPlate recommends whole fruits, whole vegetables, and 100% fruit juice or vegetable juice as well. All right. And next, we're going to talk about the importance of fiber. So fiber has a plethora of amazing benefits for our bodies. I'll just go into a few in this presentation. For simplicity's sake, there's two different kinds of fiber. There's insoluble fiber and soluble fiber. Soluble fiber, oats are a great source of this. It's going to increase your satiety levels. So whenever we have that type of fiber in our breakfast, it's going to keep us fuller for longer. This can help in weight loss, but it can also help minimizing that hangriness before lunch. Insoluble fiber actually feeds the microbia in our gut microbiome. So that's going to be included in the small intestine, kind of moving our stools through our bodies and kind of aiding in that process. So it can really help with digestive health as well. When over satiety levels, improves gut microbiome. Now I'd like to talk about how eating fiber can actually improve glucose levels in the blood. So whenever we eat a carb, our blood sugar increases. To avoid kind of a spike in blood sugar, consuming fiber with carb is always great because it slows down the absorption of the sugar that we're consuming, which can have a lot of health benefits and aid in diabetes management, for example. Lastly, I'll talk about how fiber can help enhance our blood lipid profile. So soluble fiber has the amazing ability to actually attach to the bad cholesterol in our bodies. And then whenever it moves out of our system, it takes that cholesterol along with it and excretes it. So it can actually help lower blood cholesterol, which is really great. Next, I'll talk about the beloved chia seed pudding. This was a huge inspiration for this presentation. I like it personally for many reasons because it's really simple and easy to make. It's also going to be very nutrient dense. We went over that earlier in the presentation. And this recipe right here has 10 grams of fiber. For women, it's recommended that we get 25 grams of fiber, so almost hitting that halfway mark if you get the chance to eat this for breakfast. And for men, it's 32, so maybe about a third of your way there. Ingredients, just 2 tablespoons chia seeds and then half a cup of milk of your choice. You can also personalize this. You can add honey, maple syrup for sweeteners. You can add fruit on top, chopped nuts to add that nice texture, and really anything that you'd like. You'll just add them all. Add these ingredients into a jar, place it in the fridge overnight, and then in the morning, you'll have a breakfast to go. Maybe you don't have time to eat breakfast in the morning. This is a great option. You'll just take it from the fridge, take it along with you for your day.
Another great meal prep idea is a yogurt parfait. And this doesn't have to be strawberry. You can, again, personalize it to your preferences. But basically, you're going to kind of do what you did with the chia seed pudding. You're going to combine it and layer it. So you're going to take the yogurt, you're going to start that off. You're going to take your fruit, granola, and if you wanted to add chia seeds in there too for an extra source of fiber, it'd be great. And you can do this the night before, you can do this the morning of, and you can have a nice to-go meal for your breakfast. All right, now I'm going to be talking about the importance of protein at breakfast. So there's 4 key things. Protein at breakfast can help benefit our muscle health. It can help support weight loss by increasing muscle mass, increasing our energy expenditure, increasing our satiety hormones. So the hormones that make us full. And then it can help with glucose control, and it can help meet our overall protein goals. So getting in that protein in the morning can really help meet our goals.
Egg bites are a really great option to make in the morning. This one's also pretty simple and easy. You'll just, the serving size I'd like to say is 9. So maybe you can take 2 or 3 with you to work. So just placing 9 eggs and 3/4 cup cottage cheese in a blender, blend that up, and afterwards you can personalize this dish by placing some like chopped veggies, maybe some spinach, a little bit of bell pepper, potentially mushroom. Really personalize this, add your seasonings in, salt and pepper, and then you'll just pour that egg solution over the veggies, like you can see in this picture here. And yeah, this is a really great high protein breakfast.
Another great option is make ahead freezer breakfast burritos with eggs, cheese, and spinach. So this is high in protein. And the nice thing about this is that it can keep a while in your freezer. So you can maybe take some time on like a Sunday or whatever day works for you, and you can make these burritos and you can put them in your freezer. And so in the morning, you can just pop them out, put them in the microwave, or bake them. And it's a great, really simple, high protein, easy breakfast meal. And so To make this, you're going to take your eggs and salt and pepper and you're going to whisk them to a pan. You're going to add oil and your spices over low heat. And then you're going to add in the spinach and wilt it. And then once wilted, add in the eggs, scramble them, assemble the burritos by taking the tortilla and adding in your egg mixture. You can add in cheese, you can add in tomato, you can really add in whatever you would like. And then you can freeze up to 3 months and heat in the microwave for 1 to 2 minutes. So some key takeaways from our presentation is breakfast is a great way to fuel your day, improve energy levels, and improve brain fog. So not feeling sluggish, having a clear head throughout the day. Breakfast is a great way to conquer your health, improve heart health, and reduce the risk for chronic health conditions like cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes. Incorporate fiber and protein. So fiber helps keep our gut healthy and happy. And we can reduce cardiovascular disease. Fiber helps glucose control and increases our satiety. Protein is great because it benefits our muscle health. It's great for weight loss and glucose control and meeting that overall protein goal. And then overall breakfast can be simple, easy, and quick. Meal prep. So thank you so much for listening. Now we're gonna do a Kahoot. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and start putting those in the chat and we'll answer them after our Kahoot lesson or game.
Why is eating a balanced breakfast important for your overall?
Blue is good.
Yeah. This one's pretty obvious. Okay.
Awesome. Everyone got it right.
Great job, guys.
Yeah. So eating a balanced breakfast can help reduce brain fog, improve heart health, and increase our energy levels. I was like,
Yes. Great. So we'll move on to the next question. Okay, we have JK at the top of the leaderboard. Doing great so far. How does having protein in your breakfast impact your health? Great job, guys. So yeah, protein supports weight loss and aids in muscle health, boosts your metabolism for the day, and can also help with glucose control because like fiber, it slows the absorption of carbs. All right. So JK is still at the top of the leaderboard. Let's see who can beat them. All right. What is a common solution to not having enough time to meal prep? Answer. Go to the show. Yes. Great job, guys. Just setting aside 1 to 2 hours a week can really be beneficial in this area. All right. Second to last one. Identify a breakfast food that we discussed that is quick and easy to make and nutritious.
all right, hopefully you all got this one.
Yes, the exclamation point. Chia seed pudding.
This is Lydia's favorite.
Yes, love it. Well, great job, guys. 100% accuracy. You guys are doing great. JK is still at the top of the leaderboard. Why is fiber important to overall gut health? got our 18 answers. Great. Yeah, so fiber improves glucose levels, decreases blood cholesterol, and increases satiety. Great job, guys.
Awesome.
Let's see. Third place. Great job.
First, nice job, y'all. That was really good.
Thank you guys so much for participating in that. All right. So we'd just like to end off this by asking, do you guys have any questions?
Yes, I know someone asked if you could actually go back to the egg bites page. And I know I'll make sure in a follow-up email to share these slides with attendees as well. So they'll be able to access these great recipes. So the egg bites. And, to piggyback off of that, I have a question might throw you guys for a loop with asking it. So at this moment, at one time, eggs seem to be a pretty affordable item, ingredient to use in healthy eating. And currently, that seems to be a bit more challenging. And of course, trying to look for coupons and specials and all that great stuff is wonderful. But are there any other alternatives? Do you guys have some suggestions that might be some more affordable options? Because eggs, surprisingly, can tend to be a bit higher in cost at the moment. If you guys happen to have any suggestions.
do you have any that come to your head?
Let's see.
So I know for like dairy products, they have some protein in there. So yogurt, that example of the yogurt parfait, that would have some protein in it as well as some fiber. So that could be a great alternative. And then also like nut butters. So like peanut butter, I love to do almond butter toast. So I'll just get some toast, put some almond butter on there and some banana, and that has some fiber and a little bit of protein.
Yeah, and another solution I'd like to offer is potentially making a tofu scramble. I know at Aldi there's a package of extra firm tofu. I think it's about 4 servings and it's only $2, so much cheaper than eggs right now. It looks pretty similar to eggs, and you can also still do that scramble that a lot of people really enjoy. Add cheese, beans, spinach, whatever you like. And that's also a really great alternative right now.
Yeah, and then also some breakfast meats like bacon and sausage. Those are great in protein, but we do kind of want to acknowledge that they are high in that saturated fat. So just like in moderation and portions, I would recommend for sausage and bacon, but they are a great source of protein, and so you could definitely incorporate those into your breakfast if you like sausage and bacon.
Perfect. Thank you. And, someone else just mentioned in the chat that they buy a case of egg whites at Costco or Sam's and use 2 servings plus 1 regular egg and mix some milk. And so that helps with the eggs going a little bit further. So that is a great tip as well. So thank you for sharing that in the chat. And then someone else asked, do you have any recommendations for breakfast meals high in protein for those who are vegan or with an egg food allergy? And I think you kind of started hitting on some with talking about tofu and then maybe some other routes for protein.
Yeah, definitely incorporating that tofu scramble. And also beans are a great source of protein as well as fiber. So including those could be a really great option. Maybe also searching some recipes online that have to do with lentils. They're very cheap, really great source of protein and fiber for vegans and vegetarians. We would recommend, however, soaking the lentils overnight if you buy them dry, and then cooking them. This really helps with the digestion of lentils. So.
Yeah, and also like the almond butter, that's one of my favorites. I will recommend that to everyone. But yeah, just like nut butters and stuff can be a great alternative.
Fantastic. Any other questions? I'm not Pardon me, I'm not seeing any others come up in the chat yet. I think absolutely great suggestions here. I know for me, I like to do the plain Greek yogurt and frozen berries, like a mixed berry,
Yes.
frozen berries that way. So then what I do is I portion it out, have the yogurt, the Greek yogurt, put in the frozen mixed berries in there, and then my granola. And then that way it'll have time to, because I have a commute in that's a fairly lengthy commute, and it'll have time to thaw. And so then when I get to work, it's usually ready to eat or thaws pretty quickly. So, and
Yeah,
that makes it last longer too, getting the frozen fruits for me and adding it to the Greek yogurt and granola. Because otherwise I might end up throwing out berries and not get them eaten before they go bad. So frozen
for
fruit.
sure.
And certainly I think if you're someone who's maybe single or maybe the only one in the household that's using a particular ingredient or item, that might be a route to go to make it last a little longer.
Yeah, for sure. Frozen is a great way
Great idea.
to preserve berries and make them last longer. Yeah.
Someone asked, what are the adverse health problems to starting the day with coffee? So if someone's like, coffee is my breakfast, what, the pros and cons with that you guys are aware of?
I wouldn't say I'm very knowledgeable in this, and I can definitely get back to you all if this is something that we really want to know. Lydia, do you have any
Ideas. We have not learned about this concept quite yet in our program. However, I've heard that it's great to start the morning with some food before coffee. That can really help with the digestion of it because caffeine can actually act as a diuretic. We have learned that. So maybe that's a potential reason as to why a lot of people try to skip try to not just have coffee in the morning because of that diuretic effect. However, maybe adding in some food before you drink your coffee could help with that.
And I'm sure the coffee is not quite as nutrient dense as many of the other options that you guys have gone over today.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be as nutrient dense. And I know whenever I have coffee and I don't eat anything, I get like really shaky. So that's one of my things. I'm like coffee with food for me personally.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. And someone else noted how coffee dehydrates, from my understanding. So it takes 5 times the amount of water to replace. So that's certainly something, like you said, as a diuretic and what have you, coffee, it certainly does not take the place of water. So we have to make sure and then get hydrated and have quite a bit of water throughout our day if we're choosing to consume coffee as well.
Yes. Awesome.
Wonderful. Well, I think you guys have covered the questions that were thrown in the chat today. Really appreciate this information. Great reminders of how important breakfast is and why it's important and how it's a good jump start to the rest of our day for us to be successful in healthy weight management.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thanks for having us and for your participation.